Hi guys, it's Gracie girl. As you can see, I'm back today with another lightsaber unboxing, but you might notice a change of venue. That is because my birthday was May 10th, I turned 20 years old, and it was also Mother's Day, so I came down to hang out with my mother. So I'm back home with them, but I will be leaving soon and hopefully posting more videos soon. I know that some of you watching this are probably coming from my TikTok page, which is at Cutie Patootie Booty. I'll just make it really quick and say that if you like cringy content, cringy Star Wars content specifically, go check it out. You might like it. So we'll get right into it. As you can see, we're going to be reviewing the Force Effects Elite Kylo Ren, the Black Series lightsaber today, and I have it right here for you guys. So I'm just going to go ahead and get to the point and turn it on for y'all. I love it. I really do. I might take you guys to a dark room in a little bit to show you what it looks like, but really, honestly, you can get a better feeling of the effects out here where it's light, and I'll show you why in a second. Right now, though, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you one of my favorite options about the Kylo Ren Force Effects Elite lightsaber. I'm just going to call it the Kylo Ren saber, is that you can take out the blade pieces, actually. Just like so, you do a little push and a little twist, and they pop right out. For the top one, you just have to screw off this little area up here, slide it down the blade, and do the same thing. Push and twist, and it just pops right out. Now, one thing that I want to also show you guys is this really cool little blade plug things that they have going on. I'm going to go ahead and insert these real quick. It's a little bit difficult. For me, just because, I don't know, it's just difficult, guys. I don't have the coin with me that you're supposed to use to try to put them in, and personally I don't think it works that well to put it in to begin with, but here we are. I left the stand and the plug coin to take it out back up in Dallas, where I go to school, and yeah, if I can screw this on, I'll show you guys something really, really cool. There we go. All right. So, one thing that I happen to love about this saber is the absolute attention to detail that the creators did whenever they made it. If you take a look here, you'll notice that this actually isn't, it's a real wire. It's a wire. Sorry, guys. It's an actual wire sticking out of there, and as I move it around, you're going to notice some actual wear and tear. There's a little thumbprint from where he holds it more often than others, little scratches going along the lines, and that isn't me using the wear and tear. That is actually stuff that they hand-painted on for authenticity from Kylo Ren during the sequel trilogy. My favorite part about this, however, though, is if you take a look down the saber shaft, you can see that they have a red saber in these blade plugs. Now, they have one for each side, and unfortunately it doesn't light up, but it's kind of cool in certain lighting because you can see the kyber crystal, so to speak, down there. But whenever I do try to turn it on, it gives this lovely little beep sound, saying, hey, we can't turn on right now. And I thought that was kind of cool because whenever you picture an actual lightsaber being able to unable to turn on, I assumed that it would make something similar to that, but I thought that was just absolutely precious. One really cool thing about this is that the power button to turn the saber on is actually a part of the design itself. If you see, we have these little silver blades, little rectangles going around the edges here. This one in the front, right next to the red wire, actually is what turns it on. You just pull that down, and that's what'll do it. So, that's a pretty awesome detail there. I'm really happy that they added to it. Besides the actual color effects, the fact that you can take out the blade plugs. There we go. My bad, y'all. I'm just going to go ahead and show you something else that I did that I thought was pretty cool. Just to make it a little bit better, I went ahead and ordered some blade covers from this Etsy shop called Cosplay Covers, which I will link in the description below. Absolutely phenomenal service. They actually emailed me, or not emailed me, but they messaged me after I ordered my covers to make sure that I was getting it for the right saber. They have great quality service. I'm absolutely in love with them. They are phenomenal, truly. One thing that I also wanted to point out is that if you were thinking about using, this hilt and kind of like joking around just using one blade, unfortunately it still doesn't work like that. It does the same little beeping noise saying, hey buddy, no go. So I'm going to go ahead and attach our little side blades to it. There we go. These are actually quite easy to put in here. You just kind of slide it around until it finds the right catch. And then once you do, you just push, twist, and it just locks into place. Won't come out after that. It's pretty stable. One thing I will say that I also like is for these little side guard blades, I'm not entirely sure what they're called, it actually tapers off more into a point. You can see it gets skinnier along the line as it goes, which I thought was kind of interesting and gives it a really, really good look. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn this on for you again and show you the different ways that it can turn on. Specifically, one thing I thought was really, really cool is that if you are holding the blade in an upright position and you turn on the power button, it turns everything on at the same time and does that scrolling effect up the blade. Boom, there you go. However, if you are holding it at a downward angle, please excuse my stuttering, guys, and of course the fact that I'm holding the blade because no real Jedi would ever do that. It does a hesitation effect where it turns the main blade on first and then the side pieces, which I thought was quite interesting as well. Before I go ahead and put the blade covers on, I'm going to go ahead and show you something else. If you look at the back of the hilt here, you'll notice this button. This button actually has a whole bunch of really cool effects that it can help out with your cosplay or whatever you want to use this lightsaber for. And basically what it does is it does blaster effects. It does sort of like dragging the tip of the saber through the snow type thing, which I'll demonstrate to you in a second. And of course there's also flash on clash for this particular blade, even though technically you really shouldn't be dueling with it because it's not made to be a durable product in that sense. So if I just tap this button once right here in the back, it does the blaster effect. Hope you guys can see that. I know it's a really bright blade, but hopefully you notice the little white flashes going up and down here. Basically, you can just kind of move it around. One thing that I thought was really cool is that for the blaster effect, it's not always in the same space. It kind of travels up and down the blade realistically because, you know, somebody's shooting at you, you're going to be able to deflect it from all angles and it won't hit the same spot every time. Another thing that you do is if you hold that part down, that little button, make sure I have it turned on, my thumb slipped there. If you hold this button down, it actually does what Kylo Ren's lightsaber did in The Force Awakens on, oh my goodness, Starkiller Base. My goodness, you guys. Sorry, my brain's totally out of it today. So if I hold this button down, it does what his lightsaber did whenever he dragged it through snow. It turned almost like a greenish color and got really, really white at the tip. So let's see if I can get it to show. There we go, a little bit. You can see it a little bit. If I hold my hand behind it, you can see like the blade color along the edge. It's like white down here, then it gets green, and then fades into the red like it normally does. I thought that was kind of interesting. And then of course the sound effects for this saber are absolutely incredible. And there's flash on clash as well. I hope you guys can see that. I'm trying to be very careful with my blade. So of course, I love this lightsaber very much. It's got really great details. It's really authentic whenever you think about the movies, but it wasn't quite authentic enough for me in the terms of looking like his unstable lightsaber did with the cracked kyber crystal. So I went ahead and got these really awesome blade covers from Cosplay Covers, which I told you guys about earlier, and of course I will link them in the description below. But these slide on just like so, nothing fancy, and you can already see how it's got that more unstable look to it. And there are also side pieces that go along with this that I'm going to be attaching off camera real quick, just because it's a little easier to do since I only have one hand to hold it up. And this is a very heavy saber because the hilt is actually made of metal, but if I hold it up now, you can see how it makes it look almost more unstable. And it actually brings out the scrolling effect that's going along both blades, which they tried to do to make it look unstable, but really didn't have quite the effect that they were going for. Even though it does look great without that, you can just still tell that it's not quite what I want it to be or what other people would want it to be for effects. So if I hold it up right here for you, or perhaps a little farther back, you can see that the blade looks like it's hovering and moving about throughout, especially down here on this side, and it looks like it's actually flaming and unstable. So you guys should really check it out. They also have some plasma type covers for other blades, of course, not just Kylo Ren's, to make it look more realistic and more like the waving type blade that they have throughout the original trilogy, of course, as well. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this off and just show you guys what it looks like when it's off. Still looks pretty cool to me, honestly. I love this blade so much. But one thing that I do want to talk about real quick is that whenever you order a Black Series Force Effects saber, especially if you do the Force Effects Elite, sorry, that was really tall. I've got short arms, guys. These blades are specifically made to be collectibles. You can use them for cosplay, you can wave them around, but you can't duel with them. And let's be real, whenever you get a lightsaber, you really, really, really just want to hit something with it. We've all had those moments in our childhood when we're with our siblings and we get into lightsaber fights using sticks or swords or whatever we have laying around. So if you get a real life lightsaber and you're going to be spending like $300, which is what this usually runs around, you're going to want to be able to duel with it. Other than that, I think it's just a phenomenal buy. I got mine for about $167 from the Target website whenever they had it on sale, and it usually runs for like $300 or over, so I felt very, very lucky. But yeah, my only complaint is that I can't duel with it. So this is what it looks like in terms of blade brightness compared to my Ultra Saber's blade right here, which I had custom made. So I'm going to go ahead and turn them on at the same time. It is quite bright, but as you can see with fresh batteries, the Ultra Saber's one is a little bit brighter. It really just depends on what you're looking for, but you have to remember that this particular blade is essentially a very strong flashlight, while this has LEDs running up and down the blade, which of course is why you can't use it as a dueling blade, because if you hit it hard enough, it will crack and break those LEDs in there and you won't be able to use it and it won't look quite as good anymore. So just make sure if you get this saber that you're very, very careful with it. Other than that, I am just completely amazed and happy with how it turned out, of course. And I know that you guys will be too. So that being said, I think it's a great buy. If you have money to spend on it right now, totally go for it. I highly recommend it, but make sure that you take care of yourself first, especially during this pandemic. I hope you guys are all doing well. Please stay safe out there. As always, much love.